Title: My wife's alpha boss slipped his hand into my wife's skirt and said, "Leave her mine now or face me man to man." 10 minutes later, he couldn't walk, stand, or talk. I broke his bones. Start. 10 minutes. That's all it took to end his career, his swagger, and the illusion of power he carried like a crown. 10 minutes, and the man who thought he could touch my wife, claim her in front of me, couldn't stand, walk, or even talk. He slid his hand beneath her skirt as if I weren't sitting right there. His smirk was a blade across my pride. "Leave her," he said, leaning close, his voice thick with liquor and arrogance. "She's mine now, unless you'd like to face me man to man." The room froze. My wife pulled away, disgust on her face, fear in her eyes. I didn't shout, didn't warn him, because I already knew how this night would end. I met her when she was still chasing her degree, juggling shifts to pay tuition. She laughed at my bad jokes, leaned on me when the world chewed her up, and I swore I'd never let anyone break her spirit. She was proud when she landed that job. Good salary, benefits, a chance to grow. I told her she'd earned it. She believed her boss was a mentor, a man who respected her drive. I wanted to believe it too. But respect doesn't leave bruises on a wrist. Respect doesn't send late-night texts about private meetings. Respect doesn't linger too close in photographs when he thought no one was watching. I saw the shift in her, hesitation in her voice, avoidance in her eyes. She hid it, thinking I'd explode, that I'd do something reckless. She was right. One night, she cried herself to sleep. I unlocked her phone, not to spy, but to understand. The messages were enough, the threats. The promises of promotion if she complied, the hints of ruin if she didn't. That's when the pain sharpened into resolve. Men like him think they're untouchable. He had money, influence, a network of sycophants, but arrogance blinds. I started watching. I recorded his words during those private meetings. I tracked his affairs, his debts, the shady contracts tied to his name. Piece by piece, I built a map of his weaknesses. Then I prepared for tonight, his little office party at the bar. I knew he'd be drunk. I knew he'd try something reckless. And I knew I'd be ready. When his hand slid up her skirt, I didn't move at first. I let the silence stretch, let the crowd witness his arrogance. Then I stood. "Man to man," I repeated. He grinned, thinking I was bluffing. He reached for my collar. That's when I broke his wrist. The snap silenced the room. He screamed, tried to swing with his other hand. I crushed his elbow into the table until bone met wood. He stumbled back, cursing, but I didn't let him breathe. My knee drove into his ribs, twice, then again. His legs buckled, his lungs collapsed under the weight of his own pain. 10 minutes, that's all it took. By the time I was done, he couldn't stand, couldn't walk, couldn't talk. His empire, his reputation, his predatory mask, all shattered in front of everyone who once feared him. Security rushed in. His employees whispered. Some filmed. My wife clung to me, half in shock, half in relief. I leaned close to him as he whimpered on the floor, eyes wide with disbelief. "You wanted her mine? Here's the truth. You'll never touch her, or anyone, again." The footage went public. The texts, the recordings, the evidence I'd collected, I released it all. By dawn, his board of directors had cut ties. By noon, the police had questions. By evening, his name was poison. The mighty Alpha reduced to a cautionary tale. People asked if I regretted it, if I feared what might come next. Regret? No. I regret only that he believed his power made him untouchable, that my wife thought she had to endure in silence, that I didn't act sooner. Now, when she looks at me, there's no fear, just trust. The bond we built survived his corruption, his arrogance, his touch. And as for him, he'll remember me every time he struggles to lift a glass, every time he fails to button his shirt, every time his reflection shows a man who thought he could take what wasn't his. 10 minutes. That's all it took. Justice doesn't always come in courts or contracts. Sometimes it comes in bones breaking beneath your hands. I don't lose sleep over it, because I know this: he deserved every second.